most of the time. You know, one of these days we're gonna get through a podcast without ever talking about Blizzard. I hope to see that
Blizzard
one of these days.
Blizzard is a juggernaut.
It is.
Regardless of how we feel about them.
Ages of Laterra, the next WoW killer.
Oh.
Hey, at least,
I just want to walk out now because you just killed our company.
Oh my lord. Welcome to the Status Quo. I'm your host, Chance, and today I'm joined by our lovely scribbler here at Sundered Gaming, Bear.
That's me.
And I'm also joined by our coder supreme, Johnny Boy.
Hello.
All right. For today's topics, we're going to discuss a little bit about game dev companies and a slew of things, really. Player-based Wikipedias and how game dev companies can support their content creators, people on Twitch, people streaming on YouTube, whatever that looks like for them. And then just a little tidbit if we get there to the end, favorite games or our favorite game dev company, whatever comes first. So, to start off, thoughts on player-based Wikipedias versus dev-made Wikipedias? Pros, cons?
So, the way that I see it is that for a developer, I believe any lore-wise, like as far as a lore wiki, should be put onto the developer because that's the true source of what's supposed to be of the story. Now, as far as when it comes to tutorials and guides, whatever we come out with is going to be shit compared to what the players are going to come out with. I'm just saying, it's just when you realize, oh, I can make $1 million gold in an hour by doing this farming method, right? Well, we produce, hey, how to engage in combat, right?
Yeah.
Right click.
That's fair. I'm thinking the EVE Online.
How do you pick up your weapon?
Right.
Yeah.
E.
Exactly.
I'm thinking
How
of EVE
to
Online
switch.
right now, and like they have this whole thing called EVE Uni, where it's basically like tutorials and guides on how to do stuff, and it's like super basic crap, like how to launch probes from your scanner ship. Click button, and then like all the player-made tutorials are like, oh, if you want to get to this Alpha Omega Ghost site that's in wormhole space, you're gonna need to build your ship exactly like this, and you're gonna need to set your probes up in space with this configuration, and then shrink them down to this size to make it all make sense. And you're just like,
Wait, do you have
What?
to actually be that specific? You can shrink
oh,
them in probes?
100%. You shrink the radius that your probe is scanning, so you like overlap all your probes in this different conglomeration to get like a very, very small center point, and that's what you're trying to get
Thought you
your
were,
probes
flipping the
onto.
audience a bird there.
Nah, just you. But yeah, no, that's a good point. But that's like tutorials and guides. It's not really like a wiki. Like
Right,
when I
mean,
think of
it's-
wikis, I think of like Wowhead.
Right.
is a wiki.
well,
I think of like
no, Wowhead's a database.
same difference.
No.
Thoughtbot was a wiki.
No,
Cool
Thoughtbot was a
point.
database.
What is Wikipedia if not a database?
So,
I got him.
That was the face of, I don't have a good answer yet.
no. I have it. I can counter this. Just let me
Let's
think about it for
hear
a
it.
second.
What's the counter lead argument
So,
starter?
so the wiki, right, in the sense of a word, is information, right?
Which you can get from a database.
And I say that the company, the dev company, should be responsible for the lore aspect of that information.
I agree.
So a lore wiki should be on the developer, which is what I said. And all tutorials and guides can be done by the player. Because as awesome as people would love our story and want to piece it together, if we have to have a community that pieces it together, then we're either not telling the story correctly or we don't. There's never like an official. I don't know. It just feels more official when you go to the actual website that it's derived from, and it's like, oh, okay, this is actual legit.
Oh no, I agree 100%. But I'm gonna let you finish here. But it's a Wikipedia database. I'm stuck on that subject now. What is Wikipedia if not a database?
It's more like an encyclopedia. That's why it's called Wikipedia.
What is an encyclopedia if not a database?
Specific information on certain subjects.
I see no difference here.
Yeah,
Leave a comment in the comment section.
Well, okay.
Is a Wikipedia basically a database? Or am I just horribly wrong? We'll argue about it next Wednesday, and we'll move on. So, I would agree 100%. Players are going to explain how to play your game a heck of a lot better than you as a dev will ever know how to play your own game.
Right.
Because they're going to figure out ways of doing it better than you.
And then as soon as we find those, farm gold for $1 million, you know, in an hour, it's like, okay, well, we're going to stop that real quick.
Yeah, I was scrolling through Game Rant this morning, and there's somebody who found a bug in Zelda, the newest one. I can't remember what it's called.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Thank you. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, to basically make infinite amount of money.
Oh, dude, there's been so many dupe glitches and whatnot in that game.
Diablo 4 has the follow the rats, and you get one of the like highest legendaries or something in the game.
What?
You follow this
Follow
like
the
rat.
rats?
Yeah, they had to fix it or something like that.
Now I gotta look that up. That sounds
Yeah.
funny.
Wow.
Like that. It was like you follow a rat. Like people
That'd
were
be funny if
finding
you
these
did- if
things,
you did
and
that,
They would lead them to like treasure that was cool, good.
Wow.
That's interesting.
But like, I don't like, but something like that, I think that's pretty cool. Like, who's going to follow a rat for like, 2 hours to find, a legendary and be like, oh,
I don't know
my
if it's
gosh.
2 hours. It just happened. To
I'm just
see
saying,
it.
I wouldn't mind putting something like that in, right? And then once it
If
gets
someone actually followed the rat,
right, and then once it gets discovered, then you take it out, as if it was like, and then be one of those myths or legends.
So follow the rats in our future games, please.
Right. You're gonna have one person on your dev crew that like literally just sits there and sits on YouTube and waits for somebody to post about follow the rats.
Right.
And then as soon as that post goes up, he's like, fix the bug, fix the bug, fix the bug.
Right.
Oh, that'd be absolutely terrible.
Then everybody's trying to replicate it. And
All
like,
of a
you
sudden-
lied.
all of a sudden it's like a
Yeah,
hot
Dev's
fix.
like, fixed it.
Right. That would definitely be funny. And then we put a level like that just have nothing but rats in it.
But rats. Which rat do you follow? Like a Where's Waldo?
Right.
Uh,
Put a little scarf on him.
A little scar.
yeah. Yeah, I definitely do think that players have the best understanding of how they want to play the game, and they'll figure out the easiest way to do everything. But on your lore standpoint, I do agree that there's too much there to just let the players kind of compile it.
Right.
Right.
And a lot of times you can also do the flair of the lore in the style that we want to do it in.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to just like flat out not broken English, but like
Use your words, buddy.
just in the writing style that's like originally like in the book or something like that.
Yeah.
As
Well,
opposed to like, oh, Lich King was killed by, such and such.
Oh, you mean like instead of bullet points, more
Correct.
of a narrative?
Yeah.
Correct.
Or like you're like, oh, I'm reading the history book
right.
of Bear's magical realm
Correct.
of Latera.
of Latera.
But that's kind of the whole point too behind what we're doing though, is like all the games that we put out have lore to them, and they're all going to have a book behind them essentially, or
Right.
a book series and lore that's behind it that basically tells everything that we're trying to get out there. So
Right.
I really don't think there's going to be an issue with like players trying to be like, oh, this is canon, this is lore, just because.
True, but there's always like a wiki out there for something.
Yeah.
I just think that like, okay, well, why make a wiki when we'll have it for you?
Yeah, that's fair. Bear's gonna scan the Reddit pages for Ages of Latera, and
Anytime a new wiki comes up, be
yeah,
like,
he's gonna be like,
post it official.
right. He's gonna go on there and be like, that's a really
You
good
know what?
idea. I'm gonna steal that.
Oh, get
Like,
story ideas.
excellent.
When people start like prophesizing or like guessing what's going to happen next in the story, it's like, dude, wouldn't this be cool if this happened, such and such, yada yada, because of this, and this? Bear's all like, you know what, I like that. All right,
Yeah.
let's write
We're
that in.
Yeah,
We're
there's
gonna
gonna
add that.
be a guy 5 years down the road. And he's gonna be like, I knew it. And he's not even gonna know. He's gonna be like, no, you actually didn't know it. You made it. So
Right.
have fun with that one.
That would be pretty cool.
The one thing I don't hope we don't end up having is like the red shirt guy.
Oh,
Like
for
in-
Star Trek.
Like Star Trek?
No. Wow, the conventions. You don't know about the red shirt guy.
I have no clue what you're talking about. You say red shirt guy, and I think Star Trek.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that's. Wow.
Expound.
Yeah, let's
Here,
hear
I
your
thought
thought
you guys
process
were-
behind it.
You know.
No, we're not WoW heads like you, John.
Yeah. My knowledge of WoW went all the way back to Thoughtbot, but I don't know about red shirts.
Right. If it went all the way back to
The
Thoughtbot,
I know.
you know about Red Shirt Guy.
I still have no
I bet
clue.
one of our audience members knows about Red Shirt Guy.
Pause the video, leave a comment, and let me know what red shirt guy is with World of Warcraft, because I had no clue what this dude's talking about.
I mean, I could explain it to you, but
Well, go ahead.
So during one of the cons, like one of their first cons, right? Specifically, Burning Crusade, right? When they launched that trailer, I think it was Burning Crusade.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Anyways, there was a Q&A, right? And the guy was, well, they refer to him as like the red shirt guy because he was wearing a nice big red shirt,
Mm-hmm.
and started pointing out flaws because of comic books that were made as far as continuity story about like, well, whatever happened to this hero because he technically didn't die, and shouldn't he be the leader or one of the co-leaders for this, 3-man for the dwarves, right? Falstad, right? And then, Metson's up there's like has that like, oh crap, looked at like, yeah, we done, and then he said like some nonchalant like, it's just not in yet or something like, I don't know, I forgot what he
Not
said.
in yet.
And then the next patch later he was part of the council member of the dwarves.
That is interesting, but I think this guy is far too anal to let one of those slip. Plus, we read all of his books, so
Right.
well, I
And
read them. You listen to them.
Same thing.
And
I guess.
we have some pretty long discussions that hopefully you guys will be like, yeah, that doesn't work.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yeah, most of the time. One of these days we're gonna get through a podcast without ever talking about Blizzard. I hope to see
Well,
that
Blizzard
one of
is-
these days.
Blizzard is a juggernaut,
It is.
regardless of how we feel
Yeah.
about them.
Ages of Laterra, the next WoW killer.
Oh,
Hey, at least, at
I just
least
want to walk out now because you just killed our company.
Oh, you mean like Rift?
Oh my god! Or any
any
MMO
game
that
that said,
Yeah,
like,
that has ever said. Even WoW.
No.
They're like we're building our own WoW killer, Titan, and then their project never comes out,
Well, it became Overwatch, but yeah.
which was terrible. So that's fine. So, hot take on my part. Overwatch is terrible, but whatever.
Maybe you're just bad at Twitch shooting,
No, Overwatch. The original Overwatch is okay.
right?
The Overwatch 2, I'm not a fan of. I feel like the entire playstyle changed, and I don't enjoy it at all.
Well, like when you only have like when you keep adding heroes, right? It's kind of hard to balance like some of the older heroes,
with the newer ones.
right? Especially when like some of the newer heroes kept getting more and more like defensive. I'm like, okay, well, what's the point of like running 2 tank metas? And it's just like, well, now I can't play my little zip and kill people because
My little zip.
Tracer,
Oh, okay,
Oh.
gotcha. Yeah.
zip.
Nope. I got you.
I don't because I don't play the game.
It's fine, but yeah, no, it's just. Yeah, it's nice that they have like a beefy roster now, but it's just like a lot of it just seems a little bit too overkill, I guess, in certain senses.
That's fair. So of all the dev made wikis, of all the game made wikis, who do you think did it best?
Is there any dev made wikis out there?
Yes. EVE Online has a dev made wiki. Guild Wars has a dev made wiki. Guild Wars, you can literally type in the item you're like looking at, and then type in /wiki, and it will take you, hyperlink you outside of the game to your Google Chrome to their wiki page.
That's awesome.
So you don't even have to like Alt Tab, open Chrome, type in Guild Wars wiki. You literally just enter /wiki and then item name.
That's cool.
You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
I'm not.
He's been playing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but like, what am I ever going to be like? Oh, let me just wiki this
In
Because
chat?
yeah,
How many times do you do that? Well, I guess that's fair. You wouldn't just know that information off the
correct.
top
I
of your
wouldn't
head.
just know that information. And yes, I do look up YouTube videos on like my character class and build. So that's the difference because those are I
What-
know those exist from players.
What level are you?
About the same.
About the same. You haven't touched it since?
More or less, yeah.
What's max level in Guild Wars?
I don't know, 80.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 80.
I think I'm like what, 60 something?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter because all we do is PvP. So like you can literally PvP from the minute
Well, yeah.
minute one of
I was
playing the
leveling
game.
just so I can understand my character more.
Yeah.
I think that's cool because instead of getting the answer, just Google it when you type in, "Hey, do you guys know where this item is or where this?" People can be like, "Oh, did you not know?" And they can just say /this and type out the item, and it'll take you. That's sweet to me. And
Well, I mean, like, you had a while that had like add-ons that did that for you too.
Oh, like Atlas loot and some of that stuff. No, that's fair.
But then they actually put it in the actual game with their adventure journal.
Yeah, I don't even know if Guild Wars has anything like. Do they allow add-ons? I don't even know.
I don't think so.
add-ons and like no mods or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Right. I
Yeah.
think they're against all third party
That's
because
interesting.
it's like assistance, right?
Yeah, but like
Okay, it's more or less if you ban it all, it's just like Final Fantasy stance. The reason why there are some that like provide a better usage of the game, like making it look better, have a better UI, cleaner, sleeker, but it's hard to say what draws the line as far as being advantageous versus whatever. You know what I mean? So their stance on it is just no third party
that makes sense.
stuff whatsoever. Well, Blizzard has to worry about trying to crack down on. I mean, it took them what, all the way up to Dragonflight to officially have a stance on multi-boxing.
No, didn't they come out with their stance during Shadowlands?
Maybe. I think you're right. I think it was Shadowlands, but still, that's a long time to finally take a stance on something that can potentially break your game.
Yeah. Well, not potentially. I feel like it was breaking the game.
Well, yeah, but luckily you only encountered one of those every few and far in between.
Yeah. Just, I mean, I don't know why you want to play a game like that, honestly. Just seems boring. That's all I can think about. Guild Wars 2 and EVE Online for like actually having game dev designed wikis. And for Guild Wars to actually implement it into their gameplay, into their game, where you can just type it, it makes it so much easier, so much better.
That is cool.
Not to say things like Wowhead and Thoughtbot were not good. Thoughtbot was rough back in the day, but so was everything back in the day.
But that was like at the beginning of that was the birth of the internet right there.
Yeah. Yeah,
The birth of the
the
internet.
Jinx store was still around then.
The Jinx.
Oh my goodness.
What about Ask Jeeves?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember him?
I think you can still do that.
Can you?
I'm pretty sure.
You know what's funny is that there are people out there that don't know what www means.
World Wide Web?
Yeah, you ask people that a little bit younger than you, and say like, "Hey, do you
I'm
know what
26.
I'm 26.
They don't get that much younger, okay?
Well, considering about 25 years younger than you, yeah,
I wonder if Logan could answer that question.
right? What does www
Yeah,
mean?
I'm gonna ask him.
I feel like he would know.
That's
I
fair.
think he's around you and your dad growing up. Like I'm pretty sure he would know.
Hey, do you guys think our resident rogue hater knows what that means? I'm gonna text him.
I would assume he
I'm
does.
gonna text him.
The
in the
rogue
group chat.
hater. Hey, I remember that.
I mean,
I know who you are.
We all know who he is.
The rogue hater.
He appreciated that.
He did.
But yeah. So it's kind of segueing from that topic of conversation about the wikis. Wow, did you not get the message about silencing cell phones? Gosh.
well, when you're messaging us, it's kind of your fault, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't believe it is. I don't believe it's my fault. Anywho, so segueing
And this is
from
another one.
I'm about to actually. What dies? No. What does? All right. Segueing from the wikis and the tutorials and the YouTubes and all that other fun stuff. You still didn't silence your phone?
It's too late now.
Killing me, Smalls.
You're gonna get like 5 books back in
Right.
text from Dan.
So thoughts on game dev companies supporting their content creators? So it's a kind of an easy segue considering you look at all these different companies creating their wikis, creating their, reference pages, and then having that available for the community. And then you talk about tutorials and YouTube videos and class guides and all that kind of stuff. Much better done by the players.
To be honest, like Wowhead, right? I think Blizzard should have totally sponsored them. As far as like without having them worry about having to maintain and pay for their website.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think something like that, if that ever came out to where they have a Latera head or something like that, right, to the quality that it was, the same as Wowhead, to me, I would feel bad that we did not support them as a company.
Mm.
Because not only are they giving them, like, a lot of information and good quality, guides and stuff like that, it's just a nicely ran website. And we don't want them to have to worry about having to raise money to keep the thing up.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
But then which one would you choose? Because there's more than one. So like if we have more than one, which one would you take the best?
Right.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
because you have Icy Veins and Wowhead.
As much as,
I feel like Icy Veins gives you some information that you might need.
But Wowhead has everything.
Yeah, I know, but I like Icy Veins more for like my PvP.
Yeah, I was gonna say build wise and class guides, Icy Veins all the way.
So each one may have like a niche where they fit into. So how would you?
But like, I mean, Icy Veins also does a lot of other games too.
Yeah, that is a fair point. They do a lot more than just World of Warcraft.
I mean, granted, they are named after a Blizzard spell, but
But I think from a developer standpoint, you support both. Why not? Right?
Oh yeah, I mean you're a $1 billion company. Why wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, why can't you spread the love?
You could even reach out to Icy Veins and be like, "Hey,
you want to combine websites?
Yeah, I want you to combine with this, or I want you to make your own WoW dedicated website, and we're gonna pay to run it. We're gonna pay for you to maintain it. Like, why not? They're making enough money.
I bet they'd be like
they just got bought by Microsoft. They're gonna have plenty of money. They don't need to care about any of that.
Right. Yeah.
Because they have stupid money now.
Yeah, they got stupid money. But from our standpoint, the way I would see it is if we had two companies that were doing essentially the same thing, and they were both really good, and they were both equally liked by the community, why wouldn't you just support both? I mean, there might be a little bit of vetting done to make sure, they align with our values and they align with what we believe in. But other than that...
Yeah, but most of the time when you read those guys, it's all just about the game.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's what I would want to see.
Right.
Well, we don't want people adding stuff into it and like, this actually really means this. And it's like, no, it doesn't. What are you talking about? Yeah. Get out of here.
I don't mind player created stuff or like even people going on like Reddit forums and like creating their own stories based in your world. Like, cool. But when it's on like wikis that people use to play the game with tutorials that people use for the game, it should basically you would just write a contract like, hey, stay true. Don't be putting BS out there, and then we're good.
Can you imagine being the person that made a big fan?
And to be honest, like we can even give them like the pre-patch notes that we're planning to do.
Oh yeah,
right. Instead of like what was it, MMO Champion, where they always had to data mine their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, well, prevent them from data mining. It's like, listen, here, we're just gonna give you this shit because you're gonna find out anyways.
No, that's fair.
Which, I do have a thing that we could probably do to keep everything off from being data mined, but, that's another story.
Yes, because I'm also worried about being data mined right now.
I am. I'm always being data mined.
Yeah,
they're taking everything.
The U.S. government's data mining you right now because they're listening to you on your cell phone. It's tinfoil hat time.
I left mine at home.
But that's actually...
No, my tinfoil hat.
That's actually not a bad... I wasn't really even thinking about developers supporting their communities through like the wikis or the those kind of things. I was thinking more like content creators and YouTube influencers and that kind of stuff. But for a company to actually go out and purchase, not even purchase, but to support and sponsor the people who are actually
Like, 'cause
giving,
how much better would it be to go through those websites without all those ads everywhere,
oh, it'd be wonderful.
right?
It would be absolutely amazing.
Oh, that would be so much better.
But you know, I don't have to go to that website anymore because I don't play that game anymore.
Again, I see Vase says more than just wow.
That's fair. Trying to think what other games are on there. I don't know. I haven't touched my computer in forever.
Actually, I think a lot of it's mainly Blizzard games, but you know.
Well,
Yeah,
Icy
so then
Vein?
Blizzard would
Yeah.
support it. Why not? I don't play any of those anymore. Although I guess you guys have been having not too bad of a time on Diablo.
We played. Well, you're Max.
I'm not Max yet. Max is level 100,
What level are you?
73.
Oh, I thought it was 50.
50, you stop gaining talent points and you get Paragon points.
Oh,
Yeah.
then it resets. I have more fun doing the. We were playing. What is it? What do they call it? You die forever.
The
Hardcore mode?
Yeah, that was fun. John and I we were in like a boss
such
fight.
an epic
It was
moment.
just me and him, and I'm playing a barbarian,
I'm playing,
playing a
sorcerer.
wizard, and it like ran out of all of our potions.
And we
and
barely like got
we-
the guy like a quarter health down.
And we're like, we're not gonna make it. We're
Yeah.
not gonna make it.
And
And, then
we
we
thought-
both
and
died
then-
together. It was just
Yeah.
like, all right.
Both at the same time.
Yeah, that was the night we were playing with your dad.
Oh yeah.
And like I was like, well, I'm gonna make a barbarian, so we kept playing because we were like in a groove, and then that just killed it. I was like,
You're like,
oh,
all right, time to go to bed.
that's it.
Speaking of which, I do have to say, I'm afraid of the butcher now.
The butcher, because
Yeah.
he just pops out and kills you.
Yeah.
He literally just pops out and
Right,
kills you.
correct.
I've tried to run from the fool.
You start hearing him like, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't played since we played with your dad that
Oh,
night.
yeah.
But I mean, it's the same for me. It's the same as 3 almost. Like I don't really see that much of a difference.
I see a combination of like 2 and 3 in it.
Yeah, they're-
Like as far as like,
Simplification of the UI.
well, no, like all right. So like as far as 2 goes, right? You were going into dungeons, right, and places underneath and stuff
Mhm.
like that. 3, you were kind of going to areas. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And 3 kind of has both, like, oh, you're going to areas, but you're also going into a lot of these dungeons, which were more reminiscent to number 2 than it was for number 3, because they don't have the Nephilim rifts at endgame.
No.
No.
Interesting.
But the thing is that they're bringing back is seasons, and I'm like, I don't understand that. Like, why are you resetting my character to add crazy new stuff? Like, yeah, I know you want me to encourage playing a new class, but like some people don't want to play a different class.
right. I'd rather have 20 paladins and 10 rogues.
if you go look at my Diablo 3, I have 1 barbarian, which is the first character I ever maxed out,
Uh-huh.
and then I have
Is that the microwave?
it's microwave.
Microwave.
Yeah, I told you the story about that, right?
yeah. You should tell the audience.
That's fair. So
It's a good story.
back in Alaska, internet not the greatest thing in the world. So me and my dad are playing Diablo, and we're trying to like hardcore mode. It's only fun when you play hardcore mode. So we're going through, and we just keep dying and dying and dying and dying. And at the time, like we had this like industrial freaking microwave, and whenever somebody turned it on, the internet just went out. Like you couldn't do anything. So we died a couple times to like somebody turning the microwave on while we're in the middle of playing. We died a couple times to us turning the microwave on while we were in the
Making
middle
a
of playing.
snack.
Yeah. And we probably died 20, 25 times before we got maxed out. But me and my dad are running around. We're like level, I want to say we were like level 68 or something. This was after Reaper of Souls. And we're like running around and we're so excited. We're like taking it easy. We like dropped the difficulty level so we wouldn't die. And we're just running around. And then all of a sudden we can't move. And then me and him look at each other and we're like, what the hell's going on? And then both of us, same time, we're like, microwave! And my mom's in the kitchen and she like hits the off button and everything. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, so sorry. And then like,
Too late.
yeah, by the time our game catches up, we both look at the screens and we're freaking dead. I was like, no. So a character immediately after that, I named in all caps microwave.
And then he made it.
He made it to 70. And then like didn't touch him after that. I was like, he's the first one. He's done.
He's done.
And now every character after that is literally a demon hunter. That's it.
He would like the rogue.
Oh, dude, Rogue's
The rogue, they did a really good job making the rogue.
Yeah, I'm not paying that much money for that.
I
game.
don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't blame you at all. Not even a little bit. But I do like the play style of the rogue. It is so fun.
Maybe.
Like being able to zip around and like doing your stab stuff and like shadow step behind guys. I'm like, man, this is a rogue. Yes. Now bring me a paladin. Bring me
Yeah.
a paladin.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That just walks in and just like destroys with the holy
like-
fury.
It's like
Just like
righteous
boom,
wrath.
symbols just like everywhere, just like boom. Let there be lights.
So back to our point and our topic here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, supporting our community.
Gaming companies supporting their communities. So I actually do like the whole go out there and support your wikis. That I would say would do a lot for the community,
Right, right.
especially to not have to click on the pages and be like bombarded with ads. Not
Right.
to say, anything bad about Wowhead, that what they do is great.
Correct.
And I understand why they do ads.
Correct.
But yeah, for a company to actually go out and sponsor them would be
Right.
pretty good. But what about like content creators? So like Guild Wars the other day, I talked about it doing their Twitch drops, or like doing actual sponsorships for different content creators, or giving like special, like not special content, but like special objects or items or in-game currencies for content creators where they can buy different cosmetics for specifically being a content creator.
Right.
Like, what are your thoughts behind that?
My thoughts are a little bit mixed.
Why is that?
Just because it's like sponsoring a person, right? Then that person now becomes a face of associate to your company. And it's like, I don't know. To me, it might be like a double-edged sword, or
It could be. I would agree with that. It could be because
No.
you don't know.
when you're doing like Twitch drops, like, all right, here's a code for people who stream our game to give out to their fan base. Like, I don't see that as, that I feel like that's something that we can do. But as far as like targeting specific like streamers, even for how popular they are, right? Like, is it all they do is just play our game? Like, why are they popular, right?
Mhm.
What made them popular? Was it our game that made them popular? And if it was, then okay, maybe it might be a good idea because they already associate this face with this game because
Well, I feel like that's that way with most streamers. Like, even if they're, however they got popular, for the most part, I feel streamers are like mono games. They don't really branch off and do 4, 5, 6 different games. I feel like high level, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? High viewership people stick to a pretty consistent like 1 or 2 games. I don't feel like they really branch off from that. High visibility is what I was going for, but
right.
so I mean, even if somebody didn't necessarily get popular through playing your game, but they are popular and they are playing your game and they're speaking good about it and their values align with you, I wouldn't see a negative for doing it.
Right.
I mean, people can have their opinions
Yeah,
on whatever they want.
That's the only thing. It's just like, at least with the website, right? You're able to, like, we're contributing, and then, if something, whatever negative is put on there, we can contact them, and then it can be taken down. No hard feelings or what have you. But like when something's said, like on Twitch, it seems like, oh, it's there for life.
Yeah, but I don't think that we're gonna have an issue with people understanding where we are.
Think.
No, Blizzard. Is Blizzard a conservative company, a liberal company, a Christian company, a Catholic company, a Muslim company? What are they? You can't tell me. Can you tell me what we are? Christian conservative.
Yes,
So
we are.
So to sponsor somebody and then they come out and say something that we don't agree with, it's literally as simple as saying that is that person's personal opinions and do not reflect our company and our values. If you would like to see our company and our values, here's the link. Have fun. It's that easy. It's that simple.
But then you still
it's okay
continue to
for
support
people
that
to
person.
You can support somebody who you don't agree with.
correct. I can be friends with someone who doesn't agree with me.
Well, okay,
And-
that's being friends, but we're physically like paying this guy or giving him incentives.
So you and I have had a lot of different arguments. For the
Right.
most part, you and I align very directly with each other.
Right. Just in a different way.
There's different things that I think about that you think I'm totally wrong about.
Mhm.
So because you have one different opinion than I do, I shouldn't support you. If I were a company and you were a streamer, you can have differing opinions. Don't get me wrong. If you're a streamer and you come on stream every single night and you're like playing my game and talking about political stuff and like getting rights out of people and causing problems and controversy, yeah, I would never support you.
Right.
But if it's you made an offhand comment one time and then you get like the crap kicked out of you by companies and people and all this other stuff, I think that's just idiotic.
So what about those streamers that like bash the game that they're playing?
I got no problem with that. Bash the game. Tell me how to fix it. But if you're gonna sit there and bash it and tell me that it's just a terrible game and not give me solutions, then why would I ever pay you?
Right.
Why would I ever
right.
support you?
Mhm.
That's where I'm at with it. Bash my game all you want.
Constructive criticism
Tell me how to fix
is how you grow. And there's a way to receive that.
Yeah,
and
but
give
bashing the game
that.
is not necessarily constructive criticism either.
What?
Bashing the game is not necessarily constructive criticism.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, there's a difference
I
between.
mean, we can take it as constructive criticism. That's for us to interpret, not necessarily.
Right. That's why I
Imposition.
said there's two ways to do it. How you receive the criticism
Mhm.
and how you give criticism.
Right.
Both of those matter. And so, like, on us, it would be, how are we going to take this? Is
Right.
it like we should start from a neutral standpoint of, like, let's just look at the facts of what they're saying.
Like, first of all,
And
is it
then-
even true?
Right. Like, and then work from there. Because
Right.
if you just go, like, I mean, obviously this would be a video, so you'd see their expressions and all that, and you would see what they're coming, like, are they making fun as in, like, having a good time, or are they just being mean, like, oh, you know how,
Because they like lost like
right,
30 in a row.
right,
It's like, well,
balance.
now is it a truly a balance issue, or was it just you had an off night?
Yeah, because I can tell you how much trash I talked about League of Legends. 9 times out of 10, it was because I was just trash at the game.
Yeah, you would be.
I was just trash at the game.
It's funny for how much you guys were into League of Legends, and I never got to play with you guys.
Yeah, 'cause John used to be like, play that a lot.
Yeah, I think I was out of my League of Legends phase, my self-hatred phase before I met you.
Self-hatred.
First of all, I was playing League of Legends like during the beta before
Yeah, so was I.
before the toxicity
Toxicity.
stepped in, before they signed their game over to Tencent.
Yeah, well, we won't even go down that line. Maybe we'll go do that for a podcast. Just go down every gaming company that's owned by Tencent one of these days. For those of you who don't know who Tencent is, it is basically a gaming conglomerate that's owned by CCP. So
Will we have enough time?
well, it might be a two-parter. But so on your topic about like people who game bash and then his thing about like how you interpret it, great quote is never attribute to malice what can be attributed to, can't remember the word that was used.
And there's another quote that got screwed up.
Never attribute to malice what can be attributed to ignorance.
Hey,
There you go.
I was about to use your favorite
I was
slang
looking
there.
for that word.
Sundered wit.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna have to look it up and figure out who it was said. I'll have it on the screen later. But it's a good point. Like they could just be pissed off and in a crappy mood and want to bash your game because they suck today.
Mhm.
So never attribute it to just them being toxic and hateful. And you can hit the mute button when you do that, right? So I don't have to spend like 15 minutes editing out your coughs every.
If it takes you 15 minutes to edit out my cough, then I'm sorry, buddy.
You should be. Oh, it was rude.
I'm sorry.
That was rude.
You just did it Right into the.
So what do you think
This
exclusive?
is why this is my mic.
Yeah, right. That's true. What do you think about exclusive content for creators specifically? Whether it's you stream our game for like 10 hours in a week and you get this specific thing in game that shows that you're a content creator, whatever, or tokens that can be used for cosmetics in the store, just something to reward people for basically free advertising for your game. The hamster's running. You got anything?
Yeah. I was thinking more of like when it comes to there's a YouTube channel that does a lot. I think it's Star Wars Theory.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a lot of like videos with like little vignettes, pictures, and all that, and they're talking about lore. And I was like, how cool would it be if someday someone's making that? And I'm like, hey, you want to have me on the show and ask me any questions you have about the series, the lore, and we'll just go through like a thing just to kind of do like a surprise promo for. I think that's what I would want to do from what I do within the company.
From a writer's standpoint.
Correct. So it's like, hey,
actually go to their
and be like, hey, all right, let's do it. What do you got? Let's go through questions you have. I don't care what it is. I'll tell you no if I don't want to answer it, or
I can't tell you.
Or I can't tell you. Yeah, and like just see and then have fun with it. I think that would be really neat. Or like even like
Can you imagine years from now if we actually have a con? All we have to say is like, you'll find out.
You'll find out.
It's like, this happened just as such and such and such. Are we ever gonna find? You'll find out.
It just hasn't been added in yet.
It hasn't been added in yet.
Could you imagine like some small YouTuber that gets like 20 views like us, in their like
or less?
Yeah, right. They're talking about all the different lore stuff, and you just reach out to him one day and you're like, hey,
I think
you want to have me on your podcast? And he's like, there's no way this is real. I'm not getting the narrative director of Sundered Gaming on my podcast. Like, there's no way.
Well,
I think it would be neat, and I think that
would definitely help him.
I think that would help. Like that's the whole point, is building other people up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care where you are or what's going on. Like in everything in the world, we're focused on this right now, and I want to help you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would go a long way. I mean, we have to be successful to get to that.
Right.
But I think
they're going to have to hopefully like our games.
Or the book. We'll pick one. Maybe both.
They'll love the book. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah. ¿Por qué dos nolos?
Okay.
Don't you know?
Don't I know?
No, that's why not both.
I know. Yeah, I thought.
But the face that I had was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he's like, why are you speaking Spanish? It's a little Easter egg.
Yeah.
The Irishman speaking Spanish.
Right?
I don't know a lot of it. Not at all. My high school Spanish didn't do much for me.
And neither did mine.
I think.
Donde está la biblioteca? That's about it.
Was that where the library? Was the library? That's good. No, that's how I look at it when I think about it. As far as like a game, what you could do in the game, I think sending swag to people. I think people appreciate
But
like
to be honest, it would have to be swag that anyone can get, albeit maybe a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, but like say you send them a Sundered logo cup, like a Yeti,
that type of swag.
like a Yeti.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like in-game.
Customized to that streamer, like,
Yeah.
like their favorite colors or whatever. Like doing stuff like that would be sweet.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind sending them merchandise.
Okay.
Like,
Well,
merchandise,
something in game. I mean, yeah, as cool as it would be for that streamer to have, but it's like, I don't know. It feels a little, at least for in the context of what we're planning to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I know you're referring to a streamer from Call of Duty. That's why you brought this topic up.
Correct.
That to have something like that, if we had something like that, that'd be cool to do. And we wouldn't necessarily revoke it like 2 weeks later, but you know.
Yeah.
Because they revoked it because he said stop touching kids or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think everybody should get behind that.
Yeah.
Like, don't touch kids.
Right.
Not really a hard thing to understand,
yeah,
is it?
not
Like,
really Not really a hard concept to grasp there. Now, is it?
But no, I think that in-game stuff gets difficult because then you get a lot of resentment.
Correct.
Or
Mhm.
like, ooh,
Because not everyone's going to be the top streamer of your game.
correct.
Well, and I'm not even thinking top streamers, but just like a blanket of like, oh, you stream our game. You don't have to stream like 100 hours a week or 100 hours a month. That was a week. That's a lot. 100 hours a month
Well,
to like
more
get.
than most jobs.
I know. I was just thinking about that. Like, you don't have to stream 100 hours a month to get like any swag from us, but like, you know, showing that this is what you're doing and what you want, or something not so like ridiculous. Because I feel like the people that get sponsored are the people who spend like 60, 70 hours streaming video games for people.
Mhm.
Versus, I don't think it should be that extreme. I don't think everybody should get it. I don't think
To-
I should
to
be
be
able
honest,
to log in and stream MechWarrior for 5 minutes and then be like, why am I not sponsored? Like, but people who, I mean, are consistently playing your game and
Right.
shouting you out and giving you viewership, there's no reason why you shouldn't have something for them.
Right, which I would imagine like especially like limited edition swag, right? Like so, say if we had a mech game, right, and he plays this one specific mech like 80% of his matches, like, well, let's give him a freaking prototype mech. That's
Like a
the
little
one that he
model,
always used. Yeah,
Oh,
That'd be
yeah. That'd be pretty cool.
little statues.
Yeah.
Hey, who's your favorite character? Here you go. People are gonna be like, Biddy, we love Biddy.
We'll see. We'll see. I think Torm's going to be a favorite. Oh, never mind. I have a question
face-
for
the
you when we're
face
done.
says-
You need to remind me.
I have a question for you.
No, I have a question
Oh.
for you. I have a clarification. But yeah. So I would say rewarding your community, rewarding your
right.
streamers, your video makers. They don't even have to be streamers. Like, there's plenty of
Just
people.
content creators.
Yeah, content creators. There's plenty of
Yeah.
people who are like on YouTube that make videos for
Right.
for
Like
different
the
games.
people that do the guides.
Yeah.
Right.
They're making probably more content for you and getting more views than streamers are. In all
I would
honesty.
believe so. I would say so.
So
Because streaming is like, oh, you're getting the views right then and there, right? YouTube, you can keep getting them long after you've done posting,
oh,
especially if it's vital information
absolutely.
and we don't patch it out like
Absolutely.
dumbasses.
Yeah, we need to patch it out.
All right. Well, now I have to mark this episode as explicit. Thank you, John.
Because of really?
Yes.
No.
Yep.
I was doing so good.
Diggity dang it.
He was
Diggity
doing
dang
so
it.
good. I'm gonna start like a swear counter during the
Right?
podcast now.
We
Well,
should
I think
just
it- I
put
think it
a
was only
jar in the
two.
middle and have everybody bring a bunch of quarters next
It's a
time.
punk-
And we'll be like,
Punk.
think the whole time. Think.
I'm gonna just take my whole roll and going.
Like preemptively. How many does this get me? Just dump a ton of
just bleep yourself out.
the
pretty
whole
much.
podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I think that was everything I had on content creators, supporting, yeah, all that fun stuff. So, we haven't played video games with each other in quite a while, but I'll attribute that to mostly me, because you guys have been playing together. All by myself. But,
It's fair.
Yeah.
yeah. Favorite game dev company currently? I mean, from a game dev standpoint, to what we see that we're doing from what we see that other companies are doing, are there any that stand out to you where you're like, I actually genuinely like this. I think they're doing a good job. Like, this is somebody that I could see in the future actually like partnering with and doing something because they're good and they have great content and, you know, that kind of stuff. Anybody?
I would say Jordy Lackey Ear. I'm not sure how to say it, but he's a one gentleman.
So he's an indie dev.
Yeah, he's an indie, and he created We Who Are About to Die.
So what's
And
that?
It's
So like a
it's
solo player arena
It's
game.
a solo player like arena game, and I think it's pretty well done. And if you look at the content, like he's made YouTube videos and like tutorials, the guy really cares about what he's doing and he's passionate about it, and I really appreciate that. I just started the game out and I'm already impressed with it, And yeah, honestly, right now I just like the gumption behind it. There's not a whole lot. Like I like playing Mech Warrior and I like Piranha games. I love but
I think that they're going in the right steps.
I think they're trying to. Like I think them and what
I
they're
still
doing
think it's
with,
a little ludicrous for the pricing on some of their mechs, but
correct.
that's just in the span of a long term. Like I can see it not being such a big deal, but like for someone that likes 100% games, right, to have it all, that's like pretty expensive. Like
Right.
you looked it up, like that train.
The train game with how many?
Oh
The
yeah,
most
all the
DLC,
trains.
most expensive DLC,
yeah. Most DLC ever released for one game was the train game, and I don't.
or the most expensive DLC, because if you add it up all together, it's like
Well, yeah,
a crazy amount of.
I think that, and the fact that Piranha Games, like they're asking feedback from the player base about things, which I think is important,
Right,
as
right,
far
right,
as
right.
like maps creation and stuff like that. So those two, I would say right now would be the ones for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, I mean, I want to say Fat Shark too, because Fat Shark made Vermintide free for that week, but their whole release of Dark Tide.
Gosh, they had such potential,
know.
and then
It was a letdown, and from somebody who I don't enjoy that type of game all that much, and the only reason I play it was with you guys, and the same for Vermintide. Like I liked Vermintide a little bit more just because it was more that fantasy-esque.
Yeah.
But to get into Dark Tide and have like you hyped it up a little bit, and then
Yeah.
even they hyped it up with their articles
Yeah.
and what they said
Well,
they were gonna do.
You don't have Dan Abnett, who helps write the 40K lore, the stories, do a
Like, I was
promo
kind of-
video for your game, and then have no story in your game.
Yeah,
all
Like-
the story was do better.
yeah,
Like be a better, yeah.
yeah.
Like, we still don't
Literally,
trust you. Do better.
that's it. That's the whole
And
thing.
then, and like the last one was like, oh, we have a traitor.
Okay.
Okay, who's this traitor that we have?
Yeah.
And it's like, and then they shoot him. Like, okay, well, that was.
Anticlimactic, baby.
Yeah. No,
I still
so
had to go on missions.
I know. It didn't solve anything. We
Yeah.
just killed a guy.
like, woo, okay, like that
Yeah,
didn't
sorry,
make any
spoiler alert.
sense.
Yeah.
But-
It's been out for like
a year.
I don't.
Still had to say it.
Sure. So I looked it up. So Train Simulator, as of 2020, with all of the DLC added up, it goes to a whopping $10,373.
And they've had 3 more years to add trains
Yeah. Yeah.
All the DLCs.
for all the DLCs.
I wonder who owns all of them.
I probably
Right.
doubt anyone owns all of them, because like if you're
There has
And
to
then
be.
if
There
you're
has to be
in this-
one guy out there that loves trains, like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory, that has every single one of them.
yeah, but would they have it in a video game, or would they have the actual model itself?
I'd say in the video game it'd be easier to collect all of it. You have the ones you really want in real life at home set up, but then you have the complete collection digital. I don't know. There's got to be some train guy out there.
I'm pretty sure there is.
Probably.
Leave a comment if you're that one train guy.
So this is another article from 2017 saying that the total cost for Train Simulator as of December 18, 2017 was $6,169.50,
Jeez.
which means in 3 years, the cost for all the DLC was an additional 4,200 and some change. $4,000 of extra DLC in 3 years. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous. What about you, John? Any game dev company that stands out to you right now?
That I like. Nintendo?
Hey, yeah, Nintendo.
You can't not like Nintendo.
I
mean-
I just think like I've always underestimated Nintendo's ability to produce a good game, but in reality, every game that they produce, as far as when it comes to, I'm talking more like Mario, right, Zelda, and
Right.
and that type
Yeah,
of,
I mean they have their like one-offs where you're just looking at them like, really,
right. It's like
really,
right. It's like okay, like
you're like stick to what you know, please.
right. When they made like Mario Galaxy, I'm like, oh, I'm just playing on these little level planets and stuff like that. It's like this is not gonna be fun. Well,
I enjoyed
it was
that
a
game
freaking-
so much.
It was a blast. I was like,
I probably enjoy that game way too much.
right?
And
a
like,
little bit more than I should have.
yeah.
And I heard Odyssey was
Now
like
I want to
the
go. I want to go play Mario Galaxy now.
right, and they're saying like Mario Odyssey is like the same thing, as far as like I never got to play Odyssey because like it's a little weird that like hats transforming or taking over other people or something like that. I'm like, it's a little weird concept, and it's like Mario in a real world setting. So it's like, okay, that's a little
Interesting.
too weird for me, but I don't know. I cannot put it down for the success it has had.
Yeah.
Right. And to me, when they come out with consoles, right, they're not just coming up with like the next iteration of like, okay, here's the biggest and baddest, right? Because obviously you have Xbox and PlayStation to compete with. They literally like, they come out with a console, and then they come out with games to fit that console specifically and make it
unique.
right.
Yeah, and they stuck with instead like PlayStation got. I don't know if they still do that. What's it, PSP?
The PSP.
So they were like trying to get into that. We're gonna make it smaller, but now you have Nintendo who's staying in their lane, as you guys said earlier. But they only have to really compete with maybe Steam Deck.
And the Steam Deck is trash. It's terrible.
Right.
So Nintendo keeps putting out games that have sold from like 1989
Right.
until now that are still making them enough money with all the flashy graphics and all this stuff. They're playing the same little stories with twists, Zelda and Mario. We all know Save the Princess.
I got a Twitch or a Switch just for
Yeah.
I got
just for Zelda.
I would much rather pay the $450.
Twitch for Zelda.
I would much rather pay the $450 for a brand new OLED Nintendo Switch than I would for an $800-900 Asus Republic of Gamer Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree. I would.
It's
PC for me.
Correct. If I'm
overall,
going to play a PC game, I'm going to go play it on my
PC.
PC.
Yep.
I do not care for holding it. And the
controller.
mostly gaming guys are not going to like us for this one. But Steam Decks, I just don't see a reason for them. If I'm going to play a game, it's going to be on my laptop.
Yep.
Or it's going to be on my computer. Like, I don't need to play
Like
Diablo like this.
I think that like you're ashamed to, or I'm ashamed for you for playing on your laptop.
I don't play on my laptop all the It's
that's
when
how
I'm
much of a just like a PC that I am.
it's when I'm on vacation, the one time every 4 years.
Light?
Right.
Is that how you look at it, John?
PC Lite.
PC Lite. Like, you're close. You're
Right,
not
you're
quite
close.
there
That's what I'm
yet.
gonna start calling it now. I'm like, oh, my PC
Yeah, I'm
Lite.
on my PC Lite.
Uh,
I'm on my travel PC.
so Nintendo, that was a very
That was
middle of the road answer
it
there.
wasn't in the middle of the road. I
No.
mean, you just think of like all the stuff that they've done. They don't really have controversy behind what they do, and to me, I just think they're just a solid company because they just want to make games for people to have fun, and
Enjoy.
they're fun, right? It doesn't matter how old you are,
hmm
right? It's like when Wii Sports was there, like, dude, I was playing Wii Sports.
We all were
Yep.
playing
We-
Wii Sports.
Right,
The-
I'm just saying.
what was the Xbox had the one
The Kinect.
where you had the board you'd stand on to do everything. That the Xbox?
No, that was the Wii.
That was
it
the
the
Wii.
Wii?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Uh,
white
The
board.
white board. Yeah. Okay, so I did do the Wii. I just remember skiing.
Oh yeah.
Or like the river raft on the Xbox Kinect. I remember when that first came out. My point being is like, so here's the center line, the nice scratch on our whiteboard here. Here's the center line. Then you've got like bad companies, you've got like mediocre companies, you got good companies. Nintendo's way the frick over there, okay? Like,
so you say that it was kind of a gimme?
yeah, it was a gimme. It was a gimme, 100%.
Oh my gosh.
Because like when I think of good gaming companies or good dev companies
But,
right
like,
now,
I'm just saying I don't think Nintendo gets credit for what it's done.
I don't
it's-
think they do either because
Right.
they're consistent. They're consistently good.
Like when they release a new game and they're selling more consoles than they did when they first released it, then obviously it's like, okay, something.
Yeah,
about this
but
game.
I think with this most recent Zelda release, they're getting a lot of publicity because they did such a good
Oh
job.
my gosh, it was.
The stuff you can do in that game is quite remarkable.
I haven't played it, but when Jennifer and I pick up a Switch, I'm buying it.
Yeah,
it
I
is-
watch him and Remy play it, and I'm just like,
Like
they
I
did a
can't
good
play
job.
Breath of the Wild. I
Yeah,
can't play it.
after playing
have to
that.
play. Well, yeah, because
Dude,
you
you're
have
like,
so
oh my
much at your
gosh.
fingertips.
Right. It's like all like your powers in Breath of the Wild just seem so inadequate to what I can do now. And I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, it makes you think like, how are they going to top it? But everybody was saying that about Breath of the Wild. Like, this was such a good game.
Well, the
Like,
thing
how
is
are they
that,
going to
like,
top it?
They're not going to make a third one, right? Pretty sure that was our rogue's response.
I'm
Rogue
hoping.
hater.
Oh, he did. No, that was my father responding when the message says, "Hey Dan."
Hey Dan, what's your name? Shad. I think I'll respond.
Anyways,
Maybe he read it as Shad.
I mean, he could have seen Dad. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, there it is.
Maybe I don't know.
Dad.
He's a little blind. Our artist is a little blind.
How's it look? Looks
But,
great. No.
I would say mine right now is ArenaNet, and I feel like they're not even they're not even on like this side of the line. They're like right here for me.
in the middle.
But yeah, just because like when they released Guild Wars 2, it was so stagnant for so long. But within like the last year and a half, they have put out so much content.
Mhm.
And like I think they finally got to the point of like, we're not charging a subscription. We're just giving you the game, but we're putting microtransactions inside of the game to generate revenue. And they were thinking, well, we're not generating revenue with our microtransactions, so there's no point in continuing to develop the game. And I think they finally figured out the more they produce, the more they're going to sell in micros.
So they're dishing out smaller content.
Correct. They're doing smaller content update, not even small content updates. They literally did like how WoW does their like new raid patches.
Right.
I mean, that's essentially what they're doing.
Right.
So they're doing.
But it's a lot more frequent.
I think
as
in the
opposed
last 2 years, in the last 2 or 3 years, they've done 2 full expansions with constant content updates.
Mhm.
And I think that's boosted their community a lot. It's boosted their numbers. And like, I don't even mind the microtransactions because 90% of it's cosmetic and then some of it's quality of life. None of it is all that game changing.
Are you talking about the bags?
Yeah. But you can buy anything in their market that you can buy with their premium currency, you can buy with gold.
Isn't there like an exchange for currency and gold?
Yeah. It's on our realm, it's like 412 gold to 400 gems right now or something like that. Or no.
I mean, that could be.
It's like 104 to
I was gonna say
400.
that could be a topic on our next podcast. Real.
I already got like 6 topics rolling around my head right now.
Oh,
On top of the ones that I have to feed him.
I can't come up with topics for our podcast.
No, you can't.
You're too busy, John.
Yeah, go unbreak our game. Thank you.
It did.
Yeah, thank you.
1 month out. 1 month out
Our towers are shooting from the middle of the center.
of the map.
Are they again?
Magical arrows.
Oh my lord.
I fixed it the first time.
I don't have anything like that in the lore, John, but I'll work on it.
Just fish from the middle of the map. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be at the top of the world and then middle of the map.
Be wary of the myriad of arrows. They strike at night or in the day.
Depending on how far out you are.
Well, if you enjoyed our podcast, check us out on sunderedgaming.com. Chuck us out.
Chuck
Not
us out.
Chuck us. And check us out on our Instagram and TikToks and all that other fun stuff at sundered_gaming. If you'd like to hear more about the book, the lore, and everything going on behind that, check out Bear's Instagram at sundered_bear or on our website when our website guy finally gets around to fixing it.
Just throwing it out there.
This has been the status quo. Thank you for watching.